Alright, tubers, I got the points all cleaned up, filed those, lined them back up so they're nice and straight. I replaced this piece of faulty wire off the end of the points. The solder was really bad there and it was all corroded. So I extended it. I got to put some tape around this joint. The condenser checked out good. Snow coming off the roof. The condenser checked out good. And like I said, the magneto checked out good. But I noticed the ground wire here, I believe it's for the high voltage side. The ground wire here was soldered to a pin, a locating pin, similar to down here where this ground wire is soldered. But right where that was soldered on was broke. There was actually only like one strand of wire holding. So I cut it off completely, and there's only just a tiny little nub sticking out of there. So I took a knife and cleaned it up and got it soldered, but I didn't have anything hot enough to solder this stud, nor did I really want to, being that the magneto is right there and it's very old. I don't want to put a lot of heat on there. So I just put a connector underneath this ground screw and ran a little short wire over it so there's no stress on that. So that's all together. I'll probably end up putting a piece of rubber hose or something over this wire because unfortunately it's molded right on here. They've put Bakelite or something in here and you can't reattach a new one as far as I can see, and I didn't want to go messing with that and prying that all off of there. So, but I did find out something interesting. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but this motor is supposed to be green. Actually quite a nice dark green. I'm not going to clean all this up. I had to take the shroud off to get the wire back up through there. But I want to see if the thing will run. And if it runs halfway decent, then I'll probably take the time to clean this all right up nice and get her all painted. I try to match that green because I'm imagining that's the original color with all this grease and stuff covering it with the tin on there. You know, you couldn't see that behind the flywheel and everything. So I imagine that's the original color. I don't know if I can get in here close. It's actually, it's a little more blue in it than a John Deere green, but it's like almost like a forest green. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to get the flywheel put back on here and see if we don't have any spark. And if we do, which we should, then I'll go about probably pulling the carb off, clean that up. Gotta get this plug out of here. There is compression. I can feel suction and pressure on the exhaust pipe as I roll it over. So I'm assuming that the valves are working. I don't know if they're burnt or anything, but time will tell. So that's where we're at, and I'm going to get this side buttoned back up and see if we got any spark. Well, there's good news and bad. It does have spark. See that? But you can hear that there's a kind of a knock. Are you seeing that spark jump? I don't know if I can get the camera in just the right angle here to see that. Well, that's just turning it over by hand. But there's a definite knock in the motor. So I'm thinking I'll pull the head off. Let's see if I can see what's going on in there. See if it is actually knocking. Either that or pull the crankcase apart. That might not be so easy. It might be easier to just pull the head, see if it's actually knocking, or if it's, I don't know what it is. But we do have spark, so that's wonderful. So I'm going to try to get that plug out of there, maybe pull the head off, see if I can see what's making it knock. If I can see that it's slop in there somewhere, I'll have to pull the crankcase apart and see if it's the rod or the wrist pin. But that's a little setback, but I don't want to fire it up and have it blow up. I'd rather take it apart now and fix it. So I'll keep you up posted. Something that's interesting, I don't know if you can see it, and I didn't bring my little flashlight out here, doggone it, but this is where the spark plug goes, and it's a solid thing. There's no hole, but is there right in the center at an angle about like that, is a small, maybe 1/4 inch hole that goes down into the head, down through the head into the chamber. That's kind of weird. Why wouldn't you have a big open hole in there for the plug to fire? But anyway, pull the head off. There's the gasket. Oh yeah, there's the little hole. Isn't that weird? I don't understand it. Why they would do that. And it is yucky in there. Lots of carbon. And the first thing I notice is the exhaust valve is stuck open. And there's definitely a wrap in the rod, I would assume. It's not at bottom dead. It only does it at top dead center. So, I guess that means we're going to have to pull the crankcase apart. But it's getting late for today. I gotta go in and make dinner. So, maybe tomorrow, being that it's the weekend, and I think it's supposed to be raining this weekend, maybe tomorrow we'll come out and pull this, see if we can pull this pulley off this side of the crankcase. Maybe there's no oil in it, but I'll drain the oil out. But that almost get some penetrant on here, because I know that's going to be a pain in the neck to get off. I still have my 3-jaw puller here. I didn't take that back to work yet, so maybe it'll come apart. So anyway, we'll break for today. Look at how small that piston is. I wonder what the stroke is on this thing. About 4 inches? What it looks like. No, about 3 1/4 stroke. And that's about a 3-inch bore. 5 horse. I wonder why the thing is so tall. I guess we'll find out tomorrow when we pull the side apart. See what's in there. It's real narrow though. I mean, that's my hand span. It's a very narrow block, but it's very tall. Huh. Oh well. We'll pull that apart tomorrow and see what we got. So tune in for the next video.